good reminder as well.
Go for it now.
As I mentioned, we will be recording this session, and so this will be available for everyone to watch afterwards, or if you have to leave early, or if you want to rewatch any part of it, or you weren't able to attend a live session, that's great. But this session is sponsored by Faculty Learning Institute. We are bringing our wonderful and magical Tom Chang from the Tech Department. He is our Technology Operations and Support Services Supervisor. To say that 5 times fast. That's wonderful skills that he has, and he is very helpful to all of us on campus, as I'm sure you may know him. So he will be sharing with us today about Microsoft 365 or Teams and how that can be used in all of our different areas on campus. So without any further ado, Tom Chang.
Hello, everybody. It's nice virtually seeing everybody today. Like Sarah said, my name is Tom Chang. I work over at the text department over at the college, and I do a few trainings here and there, but mainly I manage the support staff. I would like to get started with Office 365 and some of the products, and then we'll go into Microsoft Teams. It's going to be a little bit different than the face-to-face workshops that we're used to while we're on campus. Usually I'm in front of the class and showing you where things are, and then you guys are seeing behind a computer clicking on stuff as I go. But in this situation, we'll all have to do what we can. One of the good things is we wouldn't have been able to support looks like 70 people here in a workshop. If we were on campus, we wouldn't have a lab big enough to support this. So that's one of the benefits. What I want to do is I'll share my screen and go through the features of Microsoft Teams and some of the products in Microsoft Office 365. If you guys want to follow along, you guys can bring up your Office, log into Office and bring up Teams and follow along if you want. If not, you can just go ahead and listen to me babble as we go along. I'll go through some of the features, and if you guys log into Teams, you guys can follow along and click on all the different things that we'll be discussing today. But let's get started. Let me share my screen.
And also, I mentioned in the chat, if anybody has questions, if you want to mute yourself for now, and then if you have questions, you can either put it in the chat, and then I could try to find a spot where it's appropriate to have a pause maybe and ask, or maybe maybe other people can answer each other's questions possibly too. But I don't know that much about this topic, so I will defer anything to Tom. But if you want to throw anything in the chat, that's welcome.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have some time at the end for some discussion and some answers and questions. But if we run out of time, I'll stay aboard and we can talk one-on-one or on a small group. Or if you guys want to email me with questions, that's totally okay. Or just get a hold of me on Teams if you want. I'm on Teams. Seems like 24 hours a day nowadays. So you can text me in Teams, and after this session, you guys will know how to do that. And I'll answer the questions after the fact. But let me share my screen. Okay, so firstly, I want to just do a brief discussion on Office 365. As you all may or may not know, all the faculty, staff, and students at Citrus has an Office 365 account. All the students had since I would say probably about 3 or 4 years ago when we moved all the student emails to Office 365. They have all the Office products available to them. Recently, we started a migration of all the staff accounts, staff, faculty, employee accounts to Office 365. And at this time, we've migrated just about 99% of all the email accounts from our on-campus Exchange server to Office 365. In doing so, this allowed us to create Office 365 accounts for everybody on campus. So along with that, it gives you not only email that's in the cloud, it also gives everybody access to all the available products that Office 365 allows. So to log into Office 365, if you haven't done so already, you can just go to office.com. You'll get into the screen here, and you'll type in your email address and you can sign in. I'll sign in with my account just so that you guys can see what it looks like. if you've never signed into Office 365 before, the first thing it's going to do is after you type in your password, it's going to ask you for additional information. I don't have that screen up because I've already signed in before, but the additional information it's going to that you provide to them is going to be used if you ever forget your password in the future, and that way you can reset your password without having to contact us. It'll ask you a few questions. Uh, your your um, your phone number, where it'll text you a code, an alternate email address, or some secret questions that you can put in if you ever forget your passwords. Once that's completed, you can sign into your Office 365 account, and it'll look something like this. If you've never logged in, you won't get a lot of this stuff. These are all the different documents and files and pictures and stuff that has been associated with you within Teams or within Sharepoint or within OneDrive. These are all the recent files that pertain to you that's in your Sharepoint uh, application. So once you've logged in, and you can see Caroline's meeting minutes and all this stuff. But anyways, on the left-hand side are all the available products to you. You've got Word and Excel and PowerPoint. So these are the basic stuff that just about everybody has used in the past. Those icons or those applications will launch natively directly on the browser. So if I, for instance, launch Word, it'll come up with some options and you can launch Word directly on the browser itself and you can start typing. If you save something, it'll save it in the cloud into your OneDrive account. So your OneDrive account is actually cloud storage, so internet storage that you can use to store whatever you want to store. Files, documents, pictures, movies, whatever you want to store. It's got, I don't know the exact limit, but several gigabytes. It's a lot of storage on there that's provided for everybody to use. By default, like I said, it will, when you do save documents in Office 365, it will save it to OneDrive. One of the advantages of that is that as long as you have an internet connection, you can get to these files. So I've mentioned to a lot of people while we are working remotely that to just save everything in OneDrive, and when we do get back on campus, at least everything will be in one place, and you can move these files to all the different places that need to be moved. But at least you won't have to have 2, 3, 4 different flash drives, or you save it on a desktop, or you save it somewhere else and you don't know where everything is. If you save it in OneDrive, you can access it just about anywhere in the world as long as you have an internet connection, and it's all in one place. So it's a great way to store things. It's provided to you, so feel free to use it if you guys want. It's the same thing as Dropbox or Google Drive. It's Microsoft's cloud storage. But anyway, so you've got access to Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And like I said before, these are all native browser applications. If you want to install these products to your computer, you can do that as well. If I go back to home, there's an option here to install Office. If you click down the drop-down button, you can actually install these applications to your computer. And these are all the products that it'll install. So one of the advantages of that is that you don't have to be connected to the internet. It's loaded on your computer. You can use it. It authenticates with your Office 365 account. So, but at least it's on the computer. It's a little bit more responsive. If you've got slow internet connection, you don't have to worry about that. If you want to install it onto your computer, you can also do that from here. Some of the other products are Outlook. That's your email. And like I said earlier, we've migrated all the staff and faculty emails to Microsoft 365. So you can use Outlook 365 to grab your emails, to grab your calendars, and since now it's integrated with Office 365, um, it can be used and incorporated with all these other products as well. Um, there's other things like OneNote. OneNote is a note-taking program from Microsoft. You can upload pictures, documents, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, whatever you want, videos, and it's a collaboration program if you want it to be, where once you upload it to a OneNote site, as long as you invite other people to the site, you can collaborate and draw on a picture or on a document and edit documents in there as well. This is used with in conjunction with Teams and different team sites where, for instance, if you want to use it as a classroom, you can set up a team for a classroom, and it'll integrate OneNote into that team so that people can collaborate, give out assignments and grade and give exams and stuff within OneNote. So this is a note-taking and a note-sharing program from Microsoft. SharePoint is, who is that? SharePoint is a web sharing application. We use SharePoint on our intranet site and on our Citrus College website. It's the foundation of those two websites. It's used for sharing documents through the web. So if you create a SharePoint site, you can add documents into there, and you can share documents to multiple people, to groups of people. This SharePoint works in conjunction with OneDrive to make a SharePoint site. So SharePoint is actually the GUI and the front end of a site that you create, and OneDrive is the actual document depository that it uses for documents and so on and so forth. Same thing with OneNote. So it's a sharing webby kind of an application that people can use. I know that fiscal and HR uses this to share documents securely between the two departments. When HR has documents that they need to for fiscal to sign or to take a look at or to approve, they use SharePoint and create a SharePoint site and share these documents amongst the corresponding people between the two sites securely. And one of the things that I want to mention is that with all these different applications, even though it's going through the web, it's going through the web securely through HTTPS, so that it's all secure connections for file transfers and so on and so forth. So unlike some of the unlicensed Zoom accounts, as well, Teams is a secure link that you can use to communicate with, and don't have to worry about some of the security concerns that other products might raise. Teams is something that we'll be going into in depth once we're done here. Teams is a collaboration tool that you can use. It's sort of like Zoom, but more. You can use it for teleconferencing. You can share documents with it. You can use it for chatting amongst other people. So it's a collaboration suite rather than just a telecommunication suite. So we'll go into that and all the features of Teams once we're done. We've got two more things that we'll look at, but we're almost there.
She's on the phone, Darren. What do you?
Sway, sorry, I had to mute Shauna. Sway is a product. How to explain this? It's sort of like PowerPoint, but with PowerPoint, there's a lot of templates that you can use and different preset pictures and templates. With Sway, it's more of a screen where you can add different movies or add different pictures and create a Sway document within there. It's a little bit more free-forming. I'm not sure if anybody's used it. I haven't used it myself, but it's kind of a more of a free-form way to do presentations, PowerPoint presentations. So if you're interested in that, you can take a look at Sway. Forms is a form building application for Microsoft, so you can create like surveys and different types of forms within there. But these are all the products that are provided for you because our school has a license with with Microsoft Office 365. And these are the things that with our license that you guys can use for free as long as you're part of the college and have a Citrus College email account. You do also have and access to all these different applications within Office 365 as well. So with that being said, let me see if there's anything on the chat that we need to take a look at. Oh yeah, Veronica is saying the best part of Sway is to take a PDF and it will change to beautiful web applications. Yes, there are a lot of tutorials and different things on the web. If you just look up, if you're interested in Sway, you can look it up on the internet and just do a quick Google search on Sway. There's a lot of examples on how to edit in Sway and how to do different things. So if you guys are interested, you can always just do a quick Google search, and there's plenty of content out there, along with all these different applications as well. If you're interested in creating forms with Microsoft Forms, there's a lot of tutorials out there. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or get in contact with me, and I can walk you through some of these other applications if you guys are interested. But let me stop this share and let me go into Teams. So with Teams, just like all these different applications, it is natively web-based. So if you launch it from here, it'll launch Teams in the browser. There are a lot of different other options that you can have with Teams. You can download it to your computer. There's an application that you can download for Teams for the PC and for the Mac. There's also an application that you can download on the phone for Teams, so you can have it on your phone as well. I've got it on all three. I've got it I can click on here and it'll render onto the website, onto the web page. I've also got it installed on my computer. I've also got it on my phone. So people who want to reach me and contact me can probably reach me and contact me probably 24 hours a day, as long as I've got my phone turned on and my computer turned on. Let me stop this share and I will go into my test Teams account. Do I have it open? Here we go. So I created a new team account. This is for Teams Workshop, and you can see up on top, it says Teams Workshop on it. You guys can log in to Teams, run the application, type in your email address and your password, and it'll launch your instance of Team for you. If you guys want to do that while we're talking, go right ahead, and you can follow through with all the different sections that we're going to be covering within Teams today. So the meat and potatoes of Teams is this bar over on the left. These are all the different categories and options that Teams provides. So the basis of this workshop is that I'll go through all these different options, and I'll go through what each option or each section does and how it works. And then I think that'll be probably long enough to last us until probably 12 o'clock or so. So we'll get started. The very first part of Teams up on top is your activities button. If you click on that, it'll show you all the activities that relate to you within Teams. And as you can see, there's a few things up here. I used the same account for a workshop that I did 2 weeks ago for the supervisors team. So I've got some supervisors here making comments and so on and so forth. But these are all the activities that pertain to you. So if somebody mentions you, or if you're in a group, or in a team that somebody is talking about you or is referencing you. This is all the activities that you'll see. And as you go along, and I use it, our department use it quite substantially, and this activities field over here can get quite overwhelming. I've got pages and pages and pages of activity on here on my personal activities feed. So in order to sort through some of this, sometimes usually in the morning when I get in, when I launch Teams, I'll go over to filter, that little filter screen, and you can see this little 3 dots. If you click on that, you can filter through what you want to see. So for instance, usually I'll go in and click on unread, and this will be all the unread items that pertain to me. So for instance, I was texting this Teams workshop with my local account or with my personal account this morning, just to remind me that there's a Teams workshop at 10:30. So at mentions directly to you. And what I mean by at mention is that you can point out and specifically mention somebody or direct contact somebody in Teams just by doing an at and then typing in their name. So if I want to at mention specifically talk with myself on my account, I can do at and then, and then select the person, but you can do it for just about everybody. So let's do mine, and then it'll pop up with a link and testing. And that'll directly at mention myself on my account. And I just saw my phone bling, so I know that that went through to my account. But that's what I mean by at mention. You can do at somebody, and you can do that with anybody who has a Citrus College email account. It could be staff, faculty, it can also be students as well. So when I say at mention, that's what I mean. But within the activities, for me on my account, I've got, like I said earlier, I've got lines and lines of mentions and talks, because I do I do communicate a lot with my help desk, and as well as my my techs from day to day. And we do use for our department Teams to collaborate with each other on a daily basis. We use Teams for our daily staff meeting. We have a Teams meeting every day, and I do have our group meetings, our group text meetings 3 days a week with my techs through Teams as well. So we use this quite intensively, and as you can tell, if this can fill up quite rapidly. So you can use this feature over here just to sort through the different messages and communications for whatever you need. And that's a good way to go ahead and sort through all that stuff. If you click on the little gear button right next to it, it'll bring up the settings. And if you go, this is where you can monitor and edit the settings and notifications of different chats and different correspondences. So if you click on there, you can make sure that the messages can show on a preview, play sounds replay or not play. If somebody sends you a message, you can edit all these different things within settings under notifications. You can get into general, and this is where you can set up the look and feel of Teams. Whether default, or if you work on Teams or this computer screen for too many hours, you might want to turn it into dark mode, maybe make your rest your eyes a little bit. But you can set up the different layouts and different themes within Teams, and some of the different applications, and this application and how it starts, if you want it to auto start or run it in the background, and so on and so forth. This is where you would go to change the general settings. Privacy tab, you can set up some do not disturb messages. There's some read receipts there. You can block certain people. If they've been spamming you too much, you can actually block their contacts. We went through notifications, devices. This is where you would select if you had problems with your microphone or your camera. This is where you would go to select the different input and output devices connected to Teams. Permissions, the different permissions that you have within the Teams and the calls, of course. So there are different ways to get into the settings. There's the gear button here. You can always go up to here and go into settings from here. Let me move everybody out of the way from here. But there are a lot of different ways to get to different things within Teams. This is one way to get into the settings tab. Since we were talking about settings, we might as well cover some of the other settings within Teams itself. Up on top with where your initials are, if you click that down, you can see some of the different settings that you can set up within Teams. The availability chart, by default, if you're in a Teams meeting, whether a phone meeting or a conference video meeting, it'll automatically put you into busy. And once you're off, it'll put you back into available. But if you want to manually change that, for instance, if you're out to lunch or if you don't want to be disturbed while you're doing other things, you can go ahead and change the your status up on here. Or if you want to save a different status message, for instance, if you're out to lunch, and you can set up an out to lunch sort of setting and set up a message on there saying that you're out to lunch as well. You can zoom the pictures in and out, make it larger, make it smaller from here, all the different keyboard shortcuts, and so on and so forth. So there's a download for mobile app, but all the setting changes will be here. You can also change your picture from here as well if you want. So that's the settings.
Just a quick interjection, Tom.
Yeah.
Some people are asking about, in terms of the app, setting up the notifications and whatnot. Is the app just called Microsoft Teams?
Yes.
On whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So if you're on, if you're trying to download the mobile app, you can go into the App Store, the Google Play Store, I guess, or the Apple. What is it called? Apple.
Android or Google Play or whatever.
Yeah, and just search for Microsoft Teams, and it'll look like, oh, you can't see, but it's kind of a blue icon with two silhouettes of people in the back, but it'll be Microsoft Teams, and it'll be made by Microsoft. It shouldn't be too hard to find.
And also, in order to get Microsoft Teams, it's not automatically in our OneDrive. You have to download it separately, and then it appears in or I don't know, it's not in OneDrive, but it's in Office 365 already, or do we have to download it?
So there are a few things that you can do if you log into Office 365 through a web page. You can access all the products through the web page if you want. If you want to download each product individually, you can download the bundle from Office 365's webpage, and I showed you that earlier. Or you can download each individual product one by one just by going through the Microsoft site if you're on the computer, and just search for whatever product you want to download, and you can download from there. Same thing with the phone. You just go to the App Store and just download the individual product that you want. With OneDrive, if you download the Windows app or the PC or the Mac app, you'll actually download it, and when you sign into it, it's kind of like what is it, a Dropbox, where it'll create a drive on your computer, and it'll be named OneDrive. And for Dropbox, I think it's named Dropbox, but it'll mount itself as a drive for you, and you can use it as an additional drive on your computer. You can move files to it and retrieve files from it, and so on and so forth. But yeah, you can download the individual products on its own, or just straight from the Microsoft site.
Is there an Office 365 app, or it's the individual app? Someone was asking.
If you download it from Office 365, if you log into Office 365 and do the download as I demonstrated earlier, it'll download a bundle of all these different products. So I think it's Word and Excel and OneDrive. It'll install all those frequently used applications onto your computer. I'm not sure if it'll install things like Sway of Forms. You might want to give that a try, but it'll install some of the most popular ones on there for sure. If you don't want to install all those products on your computer, for instance, if you just want to install Word, for instance, or OneDrive, you can go over to the Microsoft Store or just go do a search on Google search for that product, and it'll direct you to the Microsoft site where it will have that application to download, and you can install it individually if you don't want. So there's a lot of different options for you to install this type of software, and it makes it a little bit easier because if you download Office 365, Word 365, Excel 365 is equivalent to Office 2019 that people or that Microsoft is selling in stores as a local as an application that you can purchase. So rather than purchasing, I know it's cheap if you go to the CCC Confer. I forgot what site it was, but you can purchase Microsoft products and Microsoft software at a discount. But this is free. So yeah, there you go, college buys. This is free because it's afforded to you with Office 365. It's a little bit different because everything is web-based. And when you do, even if you download the application, the saves will, if you save a document, the default storage will be OneDrive. So it's a little bit more of a web-based type of an application rather than if you buy Office 2019, it's all local and installed onto your computer. So those are the two differences. This is free. If you haven't purchased Office or you don't have Office on your home computer, now you can install Office and use Office wherever you want. I think you can install this application with your Citrus College email address on, I think it's either 2 or 3 devices. So you can install it on your laptop and then you can install it on your home PC if you want, and it'll work. The licensing is based on your email. So I think it's 2, maybe 3 instances that you can install it on. What will happen is if you install it on a 3rd or maybe a 4th device, it'll say that you've already logged into 2 or 3 devices. Do you want to sign out of one? So you can install it as many as you want. You just can't run it on more than 2 or 3 at one time. And it's a great convenience for everybody who works for Citrus just to have these tools afforded to them. So let's, if there's no other questions, we can continue and move on. We've got about an hour left. Let's see if we can cover all this stuff. So that's the activities bar or activities icon up on top. It'll show all your activities that you've been using or people have been mentioning you within Teams. The next icon down is your chat icon. This is a way for you to communicate with individuals one-on-one or multiple if you want. And it's like a chat. It's like on your phone. You can chat on your phone or text message on your phone. It's similar to that. So for instance, if I'm up here and I don't know if for instance, I want to chat with Sarah. And as long as Sarah is online, and even if she's not online, once she goes online, she'll receive the message. I can look up Sarah and just start typing Sarah Bosler, and there she is. This is going off of the global address book, so it'll pick up everybody who has a Citrus College email, whether they're staff, employee, or student. And you can see right below it, this is a student that's on there as well. But you can communicate with anybody who has a Citrus College email account. So if I want to, for instance, chat with Sarah, I can just start typing her name and it'll start autofilling as it goes along. And I see Sarah here and I can just start typing hello. And you can see it got sent. I sent it, but that check mark means I sent it. And now you see that little I thing, which means she received the message. And you can see now she's responding back to me. And with the response, you can tell that up on top, or her icon over here with the green checkbox, it's the same as up here. It means that she's available, and if you hover over it, it says that she's available, right? So you can see her status as well. I use this chat feature. I've set up a group chat with all of my techs, and this is how we usually communicate. It kind of helps now that we're all remote. Look at that cute little thing. We'll get into all these jiffies and all these emojis and all this stuff in a second, but you can do all this type of things. But as we
I
went
think
remote,
she's making fun of you, Tom.
she is.
Yeah, she
That's
is.
okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. But as we went remote during February, no, it was around March timeline, it was really hard for me to get a hold of all the different techs and all the different people at techs. Should I call them on their cell phone? Should I email them? If I email them, I don't know when they'll respond, so on and so forth. So we've our department has solely moved into Teams, and at least from here, I can tell that, for instance, Sarah, if she was part of my team, I can see, yeah, she's online and she's available, and I can start chatting with her if I have a problem, or if she has a problem. We can start chatting and texting each other through this chat feature, and we can resolve a lot of these problems. And if I could show you my Teams account, I've got chats, pages and pages full with people asking me questions about this and that, and so on and so forth, about different problems or different things. There you go. And so this is a great thing, great feature that you can use within Teams to just communicate with one or multiple people. You can add more people into this chat, and it becomes a group chat if you want. So if we go into here, and if we want to add somebody else into here, for instance, if we want to add a people, we can click on that, and we can, I don't know who wants to be in here. Let me see who's in here. I don't have anybody. Hey, Danielle, let's pick on Danielle. If I start typing Danielle's name, move my little screen out.
Sorry, Tom, where did you hit the add at?
Up on top, right here.
Oh, okay, I see
add
it.
people, right?
Oh, okay.
So same thing, as you start typing, if I can find her, and if I can type her name correctly. There we go. It'll start autofilling, and I can see Danielle, and I can add her into this group chat. And as you can tell, now there's 2 people here. Danielle is away 28 minutes ago. I can type, hello, Danielle. And now both Danielle and Sarah will get this message. You can tell that I sent it, and until I get that little I, when that happens, I know that both people in this chat have received this message. And I'm guessing that Danielle did. Maybe Sarah hasn't seen this message yet, and it's still in the checkbox.
One question too, if you've already started a conversation with one person and you add an additional person, do they see the history of the conversation, or just everything that they've been typed since they've been added?
Everything since they added. As you can tell, when I added Danielle, it opened up a new chat, right? So this was our original that I was chatting with you. When I added Danielle, it created a whole new chat string or thread. And this is as far as it goes. She'll be able to see up to the point where I added her. And you can tell up on top, Teams Workshop, which is my account right now, added Danielle Weller and Sarah Bosler to this chat. So you can add as many people as you want into this chat, and it can become a group chat, and you can talk about anything you want, and you can post all kinds of different things. But our department solely uses this chat and Teams as well to to communicate with each other on different things. So there's a difference between chat and Teams, and I'll get into Teams after we're done with chat, and you can see the differences between what the Teams sessions are, and what this the differences between a chat is. So chat is just, it's similar to what you have on your phone, your text messages and so on and so forth. And now I can see that Danielle is now available. She actually is on Teams and is available now, and so is Sarah. And you can see that I've got that little eye, which means it's seen by everybody now, that it's there. So let's dive deeper into this chat. If you go into one of these or any of these comments, there are different options that come up. So if, for instance, if I hover over to Danielle's comment of hello, there's some thumbs up, there's a heart, there's a laugh, all these emojis. I can do a thumbs up and it'll show that I liked her comment. Along with that, with the 3 dots, you can click on that for more options. And these will give you more options for this chat itself, or this comment. You can save this message. If you save the message, you can save it for future use, and that'll be saved. As you get chats and as it grows and grows and grows, there might be some conversations that you want to keep and save, because it can get overwhelming. So what I did was I went and clicked and I saved it. And if you go into here, up onto your initials, you can see saved, and it'll show the saved messages that you have saved previously. So if it's something important, I don't know, maybe some serial numbers or an address or something that you want to save within a chat, you can go ahead and click on there. You can save it. Some of the other options, I hate this every time. It always gets in my way. Some of the other options, you can share the actual comment in Outlook. So if you click on that, it'll bring up Outlook and it'll put it into an Outlook message. Translate is pretty interesting. So if I go and type in, I'm not good with Spanish, buenos dias, is that how you spell it? Let's find out. You can go to translate.
B-U-E. Spelled wrong.
Okay, that's good. So one of the other options here is you can edit a message or delete a message after you've actually sent it. So you can edit or delete any of the messages that you've put in at any time. So for instance, I'll go here. How do you spell buenos?
B-U-E-N-A-S.
B-U-E-N-A.
Or buenos. You can leave the, I was going to say buenos for girls, but it's good.
Oh, okay.
Buenos
And
dias.
once you do that, you can click on done. And if you hover over it, if it's spelled correctly, I can hit translate, and it translates everything into English. So it's a good, if you're in a conversation with somebody who only speaks Spanish or speaks French or Chinese, whatever the case may be, I think it translates 23 different languages. You can chat with somebody and you can translate it back into English at any time. Another option down below is this Immersive Reader, and that's for the sight impaired and the sound impaired. I wonder if it'll do it if I click on it. Let's go. Maybe one of these. Oh, there we go. See, and it'll come up with sound assistance and in a neutral backgrounds for the sight and the sound impaired. So there's different options within each one of these texts that you go through. There's some more options that you can go through. We'll go through these different applications that you can use as well as we go into Teams, but we'll save that for a little bit later. Along with the chat, there are a lot of options that you can do within chat and also within Teams and within any of these different locations. So if anywhere where you can type a message, you'll get these icons, or these icons, or this icon bar down below. And what it is if you click on format, it'll bring up a formatting bar where you can format different things. You can bold a message, and then highlight it, and it'll bold, italics, so on and so forth. So there are different editing features within here as well that you can use. Right next to that, there's a set delivery option. So if you want to set it to important, so if you have an important message you want to send to your boss or your subordinate or maybe just a friend, you can set this message up as very important, and it'll bring that exclamation mark in front of the message. You can attach documents. So if you're communicating with somebody within text or within Teams, and you want to share a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet, you can upload this directly into this chat or within a Teams session directly just by clicking here, and it'll give you an option to attach a document through OneDrive or a document from your computer straight from here. And it'll be anybody who's within this chat session or within a team will be able to see it. So Sarah have gone through the emojis already. You can click on the emojis, and there's all kinds of different emojis you can put into here, and just to make things a little interesting. The Jiffies, if you want to input Jiffies into here, you can do that as well. TGIF maybe, and you can put in, all these different things in here just to make things a little bit more interesting.
Tom, I'm sorry, one more time. Where did you click in to get there? I'm sorry.
It's down below. So if you go during your on the text, let me clear this out.
Yeah, because I couldn't see it. So
when you're where it says
type
type
in your
here,
message. Yeah.
yeah, it's right below.
Oh, just right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right below that. Okay, because I can't see that on my screen. That's okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's right below where you can type your messages. After the Jiffies, there's stickers that you can put in. So there's all kinds of cool and fun things that you can paste and do within the chat and within Teams itself. You can schedule a meeting directly from a chat or from a team session as well. You can do that straight from here. If you click on this, it'll actually come up with a scheduling screen where you can add, what this is going to be about, and it'll automatically add the people who are in the chat, or if you're in team, it'll add the team members into there. You can select the time, whether you want to repeat or not. Add channel if you want to add a different teams channel, and these teams will go into that next. But if you click on add channel, it'll list all the different teams channels that you're enrolled in. So if I want to add all the people that are in the text help desk teams channel, I can click on this and the general, and it'll add everybody within the text help desk general teams into this meeting as well. You can add a location, you can type in whatever you want in there, and you can schedule a meeting straight from the chat or straight from a team, anywhere where you can type in, you can actually schedule something straight from there. One of the benefits with scheduling within Teams is that now that our emails are within Office 365. Once you put that in there, it'll go into your calendar. And if you open up Webmail or Outlook, it'll display automatically in your calendar once this is all set up. So you can set up so this is a way to set up a meeting with everybody. Let me discard that. You can stream live things. So if we don't do that a lot at Citrus, so I guess if you're in a corporation or a company and you had an event earlier that was streamed live, you can put in the streaming URL into here, and you can stream it straight from a chat or straight from a Teams session, so on and so forth. The next one is the praise. You can praise different people. These are different stickers, for instance. So if I want to praise a thank you, and I can type Sarah Bosler into here, and it'll say sent a praise to Sarah, and I can send that over, and Sarah will get that praise with that little sticker thingamajigger on there. cool and cute little things that you can do within here. Weather. So if I click on here, and this is an added on application, an add-on to it. So the weather and this poly, I'll go into these two things when we get into Teams. You know what? Let's just go into it now. So within Teams, you can, there's a lot of integration with different Microsoft products, such as Word and Excel and PowerPoint and so on and so forth. But there's a lot of plugins and add-ons to Teams with a lot of different other applications. So if I click on more, I can add these different applications into Teams itself. So if I go to more apps, it'll show you a lot of different applications that you can integrate within Teams, like Power BI. This is good for statistics for all the IR people who are here. You can load your Power BI graphs straight into Teams, and you can collaborate with all the different people within your team with Power BI. We installed or added on Smartsheet for my techs and for my work, for my help desk. And we use Smartsheet solely to monitor work orders and requests straight from Teams itself as an add-on to Smartsheet. So there's a lot of different add-ons to it. You can add on Zoom, all these news, and there's a lot that you can go through. But if you click on more, you can see all these different add-ons, and I'm sure there's a lot more. But these are just some of the different applications that you can add on to Teams. So for instance, I added on this weather application, and once you add it on, you can start using it. So it'll pop up here, and the weather application, I can look up Glendora, for instance, and it'll pop up on our little chat here that the weather in Glendora is 67 degrees right now. Might be useful in some instances, but you can add these on. I've also added this application called Poly, and Poly is a it's kind of like not Go Monkey. What is that monkey thing? What do you guys use? Go To Monkey? No. Monkey. Huh? What was that?
Monkey? Survey Monkey.
There you go. Survey Monkey. There you go. It's a survey tool.
Thinking monkey?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. So I've actually added on Poly, which is a survey tool, so I can create a new survey straight from here, and I can go and do a poll in this group chat, and I can set up questions, multiple choice questions, enter a question. What's for lunch? And then I can do a choice one, tacos or pizza, and you can add on and on and on. There are different things that you can select, multiple choice, open-ended, you can rate something. And as you go down, there's a lot of other settings that you can do, and you can preview it, and you can send it. And everybody within this chat will be able to select, and interact with this survey. So there are a lot of different things that you can add on to Teams. And as I showed before, there's a big list. So if you're interested in different things, go ahead and go through each one of these. And if any of these are interesting to you, you can always add it into your Teams account. And you can start using these different plugins within straight from Teams. And I'll show you how we use Smartsheet in our department as well. Okay, I think there's a few chats on here. Yeah, for product management for sure. You can attach, I think, Microsoft Project onto here as well, and you can use it for project management and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that you can integrate within Teams that'll make it a little bit, a lot more functional and a lot more customizable for you guys. So that's the chat feature. You can do a lot of stuff with that. Go ahead, Marianne.
Sorry to interrupt. I think my computer was going in and out. Where exactly did you do the poll, or what was the?
Within, if you go down to the bottom below the text message under messaging extensions, the 3 dots, if you click on there.
I can't see it on my computer. The way it came in, I can't see it. I can't see the line, but I'm getting the idea of what you're saying, so I'll look at it later.
Yeah, the Zoom frame is blocking the bottom portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can either move your maximize your Teams window maybe, and that might show it.
I tried doing that, it didn't work.
Or maybe move the.
Okay, well, I'll look at it later though.
Yeah, yeah. Or you can go through the video after we're done, but it's all there if you launch it. But Marianne, to your question, if you click on the 3 dots, it'll bring up all these different suggestible applications that you can use. And what I was using is Poly. So if you type in Poly, and it'll be up here.
Oh, cool. Okay, Polly, thank you so much for your help.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, just go through it and look through. There's a lot of different programs in there, and I haven't gone through all of them. These are just the 2 that popped up, and I just added it on there just for demonstration purposes, but there's a lot of stuff in there. I know that institutional research will probably be interested in the Power BI portion of it. There's stocks, there's YouTube, I mean, there's weather, there's all kinds of different things that you can integrate within Teams. Once you install it into Teams and it's added as a plugin, you can use it forever, and it'll show up down below over here under recent apps. So yeah, it's just a one-time install, and it's really quick, and once you integrate it within Teams, you can start using it. So our next little icon will be Teams, which is what we're all here for. So Teams is the main portion of this product, Microsoft Teams. Each team is called a Teams channel, and what it is a team is a group of people that you can collaborate with, and you can use to use as collaboration tool. I mean, let me get into here. For instance, this account is assigned to 2 different teams. I put myself into the text help desk, and earlier, a few weeks ago, we actually created a new supervisors team where we put all the supervisors into there, and we can use that for our meetings, for our supervisors meetings, and we've uploaded a bunch of documents that we can collaborate in with, and so on and so forth. So my intention was to create a team for this workshop, but I think we've got way too many people for me to just add. We've got 73 people in this meeting, so it'll just take way too long for me to create a new team and just add people into it to see how it works. But so we'll just go through it. I'll use maybe the supervisors team, and I'll go back and forth from supervisors to help desk team to show you what it looks like and how to create a team. So we can start with creating a new team. If you click on Teams itself, you can go here, and up on top right, you can click on join or create a team. If you click on there, it'll show you all the different teams that have been created. So here are a bunch of public teams. There's public teams and there's private teams. Public teams means that you can actually join it without having the owner of the team add you into the team. So here's a bunch of different teams that maybe some of the students or maybe some of the other departments have created, and it's growing. Last time I checked, there were probably about maybe 8 or 9, and now it looks like there's a bunch more that we can actually see. But once you click on that button, you can see some of the public teams that are out there. If it's a team that you don't see and you know what the name is, you can type in here and start typing. Our text team is private, so probably won't be able to see that. Yeah. But as you type along, if you know a team, you can start typing into here, and it'll find it if it's out there for you. One of the other ways is you can join a team with a code. When you get into a team, or if you created a team, if you want to actually pass out a URL or a code for somebody outside of your team to join, you can do that, and I'll show you guys how to do that once we get deeper into teams. And if you do get one of these codes, you can actually type in the code and you can join the team directly from there. But let's try creating a team right now. If we click create a team, it'll give you different options. Our Microsoft 365 account is a educational account. So it gives us different features from, for instance, a institution or a private account that people have signed up for. Some of the differences is this class and professional learning team. A class team is a team that you can create for a classroom. For instance, if you're a faculty member and you're teaching maybe English 101, you can create a team for English 101. And once you create the team, you can start adding all the students into there, and you can use Teams as a virtual classroom, for instance. The differences with a class team and a professional learning community team is that it'll automatically, once you create the team, it'll automatically create a Onenote instance for you to actually use within that team for note taking and for assignments and for all these different things that you would use to collaborate with in a classroom environment. So here's all the different types of teams. Staff team is just a regular team that you would add different staff members into, and all these clubs and different study groups. And these are pretty much what you see in the background. These are probably some chem, for instance, this Chem 110 group is probably a learning group that people created out there for Chem 101 or 110, I'm sorry. But we can create, let's start with a staff one, and we can probably create a class team after this if we have time. We might not have time. We've got about half an hour. I need to talk faster.
I have a super quick question.
Yes.
Super quick question on that topic before we move on. With a class, because it came up in the chat a little bit. With a class, is there a way to? It looks like with the class one, it asks you to put in students individually, and if people have a large amount of students, is there the code? I can't tell where the code gets generated. Is that something that you could send to students that they would put a code in, and then how do they know that they've been invited, especially if they don't have Teams yet installed?
Right. So I'll show you about the code. I'll show you how to get the codes and all that stuff after we create the teams. But yeah, there is a way, and I'm not sure. We're looking into Banner and see if there's a way to integrate it within Banner, where if you're an instructor, it'll pull up and create these teams for you, these class teams for you, and assign all the students that are in that class for you, and you wouldn't have to do any of this. I'm not sure if it can be done in Banner. I know it can be done in other SIS programs out there, but we're looking into see if we can do that for, if it becomes more popular, maybe just have it set up for all the instructors. Once a term starts, they can just log into Teams, click on Teams, and it'll have all their classes out there with all their students assigned to them. I'm not sure if the faculty, it's pretty new, so it's kind of hard to gauge whether if this is something the faculty wants to use or so on and so forth. So we haven't looked into too much about integrating it within Banner, but if it becomes more popular, we'll definitely see if we can get that. I know it's possible with other SISs, but we'll take a look at Banner and see if that's possible as well. But that is an option to have it automatically created for you. But let's get into that, where I think we're running a little bit on time. I'm just talking way too much. So let's create a whole new team. We'll create a staff team, and we'll call this Teams Workshop. And privacy, we'll make it public for now, and I'll delete it after we're done. So there's two options, public and private. Of course, public, anybody can join. Private, you would have to be invited into it. So let's create that. And it'll start asking you to add certain people. So we'll add Sarah. And then we'll add Danielle. And there you go. We've created a whole new team. And within there, you can, if you click on the three dots here and manage team, you can see that there are two people. Oh, look at people already adding into it. Look like Catherine Harker is added into there. And if you guys want to go ahead and add yourself into this team, you're more than welcome to. I'll probably delete it in a day or two. But if you want to join into it, it's a public team. You can go ahead and get into there and see what it looks like. But here's where you can manage it. So you were talking about adding a link, and I think it's in here somewhere. Here you go. Get link to team. So here's the link that you can copy and paste. And if you copy it and you can send it as an email or get it to somebody however they want, they can click on that link and it'll directly connect them to this team. So this is what a team looks like. They're just by creating it, you can see that we've got these members into here. And we're in the general, look at, we've already got people posting stuff in here. This is the general channel within a team. You can within a team, you can create multiple channels. For instance, if you have a team, for instance, text, we have all these developers and all these technicians in there. We can add everybody into there. We can create another team session or another team channel underneath it, and we can call it maybe administrative. And we can add, for instance, under text, we've got an administrative section where only me, Lee, and Bob are in there. Or if you have a classroom team, you can add, yourself and your teacher's aides into a session. And you can separate these out to as many as you want. So general is everybody who is invited into this team. And as you create these subcategories, you can divvy out certain people depending on their on what they're going to be doing within the team. And you can start adding these different channels into there. And Mohammed's already repeat. So within there, so we'll go up on top, and I'm going to have to talk a little bit more faster. So up on top, these are the actual different categories within the team. The general posts is the actual texting. We went through the chat feature. This is exactly what the same as a chat. You can go ahead and start typing, and you can see the same categories and everything are in there just like before. And you can start typing things, and you can start using these different applications that you've plugged into Teams before. You can use those different things in here as well. And it's the same as chat, but now you're chatting solely within this Teams channel itself. So only the people who are in this team will be able to see these chats. So if I want to do @Sarah to direct @mention her, it'll directly at mention Sarah, and on her side, it'll pop up as a big @ up on top, a red @, and you'll know that somebody is actually mentioning you within a post. Up on top, you can upload files into there. We've got no files in here, but you can upload different files, Excel spreadsheets, pictures, whatever you want to share within this team. Like if somebody's already put in a file up here, but you can collaborate with this as well. So you upload a file, it's an Excel spreadsheet, you make changes to it, you save it, and now everybody within this team sees the changes and can start making changes to that same Excel spreadsheet. Same thing with Word, same thing with whatever you've uploaded into files. This is the home of all the uploads of these different documents, and it can only be seen within this team's channel and all the members within this team. So this is a great way to share different things. For us on our text team, we have different spreadsheets out there with computers, where they're located, and so on and so forth. So we've got a lot of installers. We've got like the Mitel installs and Office installs and all that stuff all in this files section. And this file section is actually saved within this user's OneDrive, or I'm sure SharePoint. So if you go back to Office 365, and if you're in a team that has some uploaded files, if you log into your Office 365, you will see these files in your console as well. So it's a nice little feature. Staff notebook. You can start typing things. It's a OneNote notebook on here that everybody can use to collaborate with. Let me go out of this team and show you one of ours. For instance, Text Help Desk. This is what we use at our help desk to communicate with each other. And you can see there's a lot of talk and chatter between myself and different students at the help desk, mostly password resets and so on and so forth. But what we've done is we've integrated Smartsheet within Teams, and it's the same way as the other two that I showed you, the weather and the poly. But you can actually add it as a tab up here. So if you click on the plus, it'll give you the same option to add these different things. So Power BI, Planner, Poly, and what it'll do is it'll add it into this column up on top. So I've added Smartsheet up here, and now my help desk works directly off of Teams and this student help Smartsheet that they can use to look at all these incidents for students that need help. And they'll go in and they'll work on this, and when they're resolved, they'll put in left voicemail and so on and so forth. It'll save, you save it up here, and then the next person who's on the help desk will see this instantly in real time that somebody has resolved this issue, and they can move on to other things. So this is a great help for us. Our help desk uses this solely to work on instances that students need help with different things. Our text remote support. This is what our help, or not help desk, but our techs use to resolve incidents that people, faculty, and staff have put in for requests. So, for instance, like Susan Hensley, she can't receive or send emails. And if we move around, you can see that a lot of these have been resolved. You know, Felix has resolved this one, Charlie's resolved this one. So our techs solely use this as well to get into Smartsheet to resolve some of these issues, rather than having to log into Smartsheet itself and log into the individual sheets and look at it from there. They have this one pane straight from Teams where they can chat with all the other techs. They can upload files so that all the other techs can have access to it. And then they can work on their reports and their requests straight from this team. So it helps a lot. If we go back to our Teams workshop and move this back over to here, we've got all these notifications. Okay, so the another good feature is that the Meet feature up here. We do this every day at our department. Our team meets every day at 10 o'clock. So the first person who actually comes in to join into the teams, they'll click on the Meet, and what this will do is it'll start a meeting with everybody who's in this team. And you can meet right now. You can schedule a meet. So if you click on schedule, it'll bring up that same template, that same window as before, where you can create a new meeting and schedule something in the future for everybody to meet with. And once again, it'll be up into your calendar. So that's some of the features that we've had, and I'm sorry we're running low on time, so I want to get through at least some of these other features down below. But that's pretty much the meat and potatoes of what a Teams channel is. It's a collaboration tool for a bunch of people who have similar interests, I guess. It can be, yeah.
Quick question. If I know that you can add non-Citrus College email users as guests, do guests still have access to all the same information, or do they not have?
Guest accounts are very limited. Once you send an email to a link to a non-Citrus employee, they'll be able to join this team or join a meeting, but they won't have, for instance, the calendar, because they don't have a calendar account or an email account set up for them. They won't have the ability to search our global address list. So it's very limited. But yes, you can add a guest that's outside of our organization into a Teams meeting or a Teams channel if you want.
But they can edit, like if we're doing a shared notebook or a shared file, they can edit and see it, right?
I am not sure. I don't think that they'll have access to files, because that's another feature within Office 365. If you click on the files feature, it actually brings you into OneDrive and SharePoint. So I'm not sure. You would have to test with that, but I don't think so. I think if you share it within this chat, for instance, if you want to upload a file into this chat, into a team, they would be able to see it. But if you post it up on top in files, I don't think they'll be able to see it that way.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Try it and find out. I know that they'll be able to see the attachments from here. I don't think they'll be able to see all the different files that you've attached from up here. It's a very limited account, obviously, because they're not part of our organization.
With the meetings, are they automatically recorded, or is there a recording feature in them?
No, the teleconferencing feature within Teams is similar to Zoom. It's got most of the functionality within Zoom. So once you're in it, and I'm sorry I can't start one because I'm already in a Zoom meeting, and to start a Teams meeting, we'd get a lot of feedback, and you would see me in like 3 or 4 different ways, and it's kind of hard to do this remote from Zoom and start another meeting within Teams itself. But once we're done with this, feel free to mess around with the meeting function. It's similar to Zoom. When you first start the meeting, it'll come up with your picture, and it'll ask you if you want to use audio or video, and it'll give you an option to select a background. It'll show your face if you select a video, and once you click join, you'll be in there. Some of the features that aren't in Teams right now that is in Zoom, but will be in there. I think they said November is the breakout rooms. They don't have breakout rooms in there right now. They will hopefully shortly. The hard mute isn't in there right now, where you mute everybody and they can't unmute themselves. That's not in there right now, but they're going to implement that in November. But other than that, all the features that are in Zoom will be in Teams itself as well. They might be in different places, but they'll be in there. And I'm sorry I couldn't start a Teams conference right now because we're already in a Zoom conference, and I'm not sure how it would work if we had 2 conferences running at one time. But give it a try when we're off of this and mess around with it. But it's pretty user-friendly, and like I said, we use it every day for our department. So let's move on really quick. Some of these won't be too long. Assignments is something that is special for our our type of institution, an educational institution, these are the assignments that if you create a Teams, a classrooms team, all the assignments within that Teams will be in here. So if you create a team, a classroom team for, I don't know, English 101, and you put in, you're the instructor and you have all these different assignments, the assignments will show up over here. And since I don't have a team or a classroom team set up, I can't create a new OneNote to populate this this category. But what it does is once you do create it, you can go into assignments and you can click on the different teams that your classroom teams that you're assigned to. And once you click on there, you can click on the actual, I wonder if we don't have time. I'm sorry. It's about 10 minutes. But if you create it, you can go ahead and create an assignment list straight from here with all the assignments associated with that class. And all it does is it creates a OneNote instance within here so that you can have all these different assignments assigned to all the different people within that classroom teams. And that's what this assignments tab is for. It's kind of unique because we are licensed for educational, and this is one of the things that they add into Teams for us, just to make it a little bit more easier for these classroom teams to be set up. The next little icon here is calendar. Since we're all integrated with Office 365 with our emails, this calendar is your Office or your email calendar straight from webmail, Outlook, or whatever you may be using. I don't have anything in here because I don't have anything in this account's calendar. But if you log into Teams with your account, you will see all your different schedules and your different appointments and everything within your calendar within Outlook or within webmail will show up here. And if you want to go ahead and create a meeting straight from here, you can do that as well. And I've just done that. So you can select, for instance, Friday from here to here, and you can add a title and so on and so forth like we did before. And you can save it, and you can create a scheduled meeting straight from here, and you can discard that. So yeah, it's your calendar. It's the same calendar as you would use within Outlook, and it just makes it a little bit handier and a little more convenient now that we've integrated everything within Office 365 straight from there. Calls. These are all the calls that people have tried to call you within Teams. So for instance, if Sarah decided to call me, whether video or audio, I would see the calls into here. It looks like I tried calling this account at one point, and I can see that here, and I can call them back via audio or via video. And you can set up your voicemails here. You can set up your contacts here. This is just your call history.
How do you call out? How do you set up with somebody? Just real quick.
So you really can't call out. This isn't like a cell phone. You can.
No, I mean to somebody in your team. How do you? Oh, it says make a call, so you'd enter the person's name right there and then just put it in.
Right,
Okay,
right.
got
If
it.
you want to call
I didn't see
somebody
that.
in the global address list,
Got it.
yeah, you can go straight from here and just type in their name, and it'll start autofilling as you go.
Okay.
And you can
I
make the
saw
call
that.
from here. Yep. Files. Files are all the files that you've uploaded or that you have access to within Teams. I've got one document here. It's pretty much the OneDrive account for this account. So it'll show all the documents that you have access to straight from here. The three little dots down below are all the different applications that you can implement into there. There are a lot of different areas that you can integrate different applications into Teams, and this is another way for you to do that, another area that you can do that from. So from here, or from the chat, or from activities, you can always add. It makes it very convenient for you to add different things into Teams and integrate different applications into there. Looks like, okay. same thing with over here, applications. It'll show you all the different applications that that you can integrate with. If you ever have problems with it, the help's straight from here. You can click on help, and there's where you can download the mobile app. Look at that. It's 11:58. I am almost done. Look at that. Let's see if there's any more chats up here. Okay. Thanks, Susan. Thanks for participating. I think that's about it. I went through a lot of things really fast. I'm sorry. The last one I did lasted an hour and a half, and this one lasted just around an hour and a half. I had a few other things I wanted to cover, but feel free if you have any questions. I wanted it to be more in-depth in Teams and all the configurations in there. We just don't have enough time, but I'm sure as you guys navigate through Teams, you'll get a hang of it, and it's a quite useful tool. I keep on saying we use it as our department, and we do use it quite extensively in our department every day, just to keep track of different things and keeping communication with our team. For me as a supervisor, it's really hard for me to determine, well, what tech is actually online, who's doing what, and so on and so forth. Everything is all in one place. I can see, okay, for instance, Danny is online and he's working right now. I can text him and ask him to go and check out a computer somewhere, or I can see that, maybe Felix is off today, and I can see it on here on the calendar, and there are some things that he might need to do when he comes back, and so on and so forth. So this is a one-stop shop where I can communicate with everybody that I need to communicate with, and collaborate with all these different people, with all these different add-on products that I can add into Teams itself. So
thank you so much, Tom. That is
Thank
super
you,
helpful.
Tom.
There's tons of people
Thank
thanking you. Lots of people thanking you in the chat. There's been a lot of agreement with a lot of people in chat about having a follow-up workshop to this in Teams, so we can kind of see it from the inside. So we have a few people who are using it in classrooms and also in other departments that might be able to speak to how to integrate it into your area from an inside perspective. So I definitely think we'll follow up with that.
Definitely. And maybe the next time we do this, maybe we'll do it within Teams and start out from Teams and go from there. It's just really hard because I don't know who's got Teams set up or who has experience with Teams, and it's kind of a iffy thing. I know everybody knows how to get to Zoom, so that's how we started out. But yeah, we can definitely do maybe an advanced class on Teams, and we can start out with Teams and move on.
Yeah, Danelle has a good question. Do you have any Microsoft 365 training planning? I'd like to do that.
I think we do. I think
okay, great.
I think Caroline is setting up a Office 365 navigation in a few weeks, and
good.
I'll have to figure out what we'll be teaching in that, but I think in 2 weeks in November we'll have that through.
Great, thank you.
Staff development.
Yeah. Tom, it's November 6th, and I'm just waiting for a link for you and the Smart Sheet sign, and we'll send an email out. Okay, everybody?
November 6th?
Correct.
Thank you.
Same time frame, 10:30 to noon.
Yeah, we'll send out an email to everybody. I just have
to
create
channel.
The links. Yeah, same bat channel. You got it. and as I said earlier at the start, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, or now that you're in Teams, go ahead and text me in Teams, and we'll be able to do a phone call or a video chat. And
Tom, you realize that's dangerous for you.
I've already been doing this for 6 months, so it's fine.
The whole 24-hour thing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
you very, very much.
Okay, with that, I think we're done here. Hopefully everybody had got some information that was helpful.
Definitely.
And if you guys, once again, have any problems or questions, feel free to get in contact with me, you guys. It was fun.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much.
I'm going to stop the share. You're welcome, you guys.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. You guys have a great day and a great weekend. I'm going to start.
It's Friday.
Yes, it's Friday. I'm going to stop the recording.